You'll notice every time you move, like I selected the two birds at the top, but it jumped back to view mode. I think it was view mode, yeah. Every time you select new birds, Max is going to default back to view mode, so just be careful of that. Yeah, that should work for us. May go back just a little bit more. That's okay. All right. Let's jump back into our top view here. And again, I'm going to go back into view mode. Hold down the shift key and shift drag a copy. Go up to the mirror tool here and mirror it. Move that one into position. Might just angle this one around just a bit more. Jump back into my top viewport again. I'm going to select both of those and shift drag a copy down. Again, I'm going to mirror, this time in the Y direction. Should work, we'll find out in just a minute. I'm just going to select them individually just to get them positioned correctly. Again, now I'm going to go into local mode. Okay, that one's not too bad. Back into the top viewport. Let's select one of them. Again, I'm going to make sure I'm in view mode there to do all of this. Shift click a copy down. We'll move it over and up and rotate it around.
I'm spinning and everything is confusing. I can't seem to slow my mind.
Need to pull it down, pardon me, down a little bit. You may rotate this one around as well, I think. I'll try pulling it out first. Yeah, no, we're going to rotate it, so. Pull it back, pull it up. I'm going to rotate it around just a little as well. Again, I'm going to go back into local mode. Back into our top viewport. Back into view mode. Shift click a copy down. Again, we're going to use the mirror tool in the Y direction, sorry. Needs to go over a little bit more, but again back into local mode here. And I'm just going to rotate it around just a little bit. Back into local mode. Okay, back into our top viewport and select those two, shift click a copy over. Again, we're going to use our mirror tool in the X direction. Let's work on these one by one, it'll be easier I think. Again, back into local mode. We have to move that one yet. Going to rotate it around. Pull it back. You see it's starting to intersect our geometry here. That's a problem with the underlying geometry, I'd say. So I may have to go into vertex mode and pull that back. Let's have a look at that really quickly. I'm going to select the underlying light fitting itself. It's an edit mesh. Let's make sure our verts are all welded together. So I'm going to select everything on the mesh. Okay, I'm going to convert it to an edit poly before I do that. Because again, you guys will know if you've seen the rest of my streams, these assets, for some reason, the verts are all split and they shouldn't be. I don't know why that is like that. It's easy to fix though. Just go into edit poly, select all the verts, open up the edit poly modifier here. And we're just going to up our value until we get to 0.49 and accept. We're going to make sure that that worked by going into sub-object mode and selecting it. Everything gets selected in one piece so we know that they're welded together correctly. Alright, let's go into vertex mode here. I'm going to select those three verts. I'm going to turn on preserve UV so I don't mess the UV map up of the underlying texture itself. Not that that's a big deal because we're going to be remaking it anyway, but if we can avoid it we may as well. I'm just pulling it in so that the geometry isn't intersecting that piece of, it'll be ironwork that we're going to be putting in. That does mean that we have to move that piece over now, so I'm just going to go out of vertex mode. I'll select that piece again, move it over. And pull it forward, again working in view mode here. The other one we have to work on here is this one here. We're getting a little bit of intersection happening as well. Before I do that though, I thought there was one that I needed to... No? Alright. So again, we're going to go back to our original piece of geometry. Back into vertex mode. You'll notice I'm selecting in shaded. Most people, you'll find it easier if you jump into wireframe to do this. But I made this mesh, so I'm pretty familiar with the underlying verts for it, so I can do it in shaded mode. It's probably better off going into wireframe to do that sort of thing. Okay, back into the move tool. Where are we? I'm actually not going to move the top one, so I'm going to deselect top one. Let's go out of vertex mode. Back into our top viewport. Alright, let's make a copy of one of these pieces again. Well, might as well grab this one here. And we're going to pull it in. Now, you see that we have our edit poly modifier here. I'm just going to delete that from this copy so I can go back to my underlying box. I'm going to increase the length. We'll move it over a bit, rotate it around a bit. Jump back to view mode for our axes here. Increase our length a bit more. Now the angle is going to be incorrect, so let's have a look at that. Let's jump into the left view. Should work. We're going to rotate it around. And pull it down so we can see it. Back into our top view. Let me jump into orthographic really quickly. Right. Let's move it over. Actually, the angle is incorrect here, so I'm going to rotate it around again. In local mode. Alright, let's reduce our length now that we've got it in the right spot. We're going to pull it up a bit. So we want it to sit behind that bottom ring there, that lip. We want to make sure it actually is intersecting that ring in the center though. So behind that lip but intersecting that one. Right, do the same thing. We'll hold down the shift key to shift drag a copy. Back to our mirror tool. Looks like we may have to increase the length on this one just a touch. Okay, let's select both of those and we're going to shift drag a copy down again. Back to our mirror tool in the wide. Actually, it should be okay. No. In the Y direction. I'm going to rotate this one around a little bit just to make it better in line with the texture in the background. It doesn't have to be exact because again we're going to be probably swapping out this texture completely for an emissive map, the actual glass part of the light fitting. Alright, let's drag down another copy here. We're going to have to rotate it around. And move it over. You'll notice these are shorter too because the distance from here to here is less than from here to here. We're going to rotate it around a bit more. And let's reduce our length. Okay. Back into our top viewport. Again, shift click a copy and use our mirror tool. Reduce our length just a bit more. I'll select both of those, shift click a copy down. Back to our mirror in the Y. And we'll just adjust them individually. Come back out to our orthographic here. Alright, I'm just going to take a quick break for a couple of minutes, guys. I'm going to, pardon me, grab a fresh cup of coffee. I'll be back in just a few minutes though. So, back in a sec, guys. My apologies if the be right back music stutters. Let me know if it does, but yeah, I've been having problems with that for some reason. I may update the latest version of OBS, see if that fixes it, but I'll be right back, guys. Okay. Let's work on this second ring through here. So jump back into my top viewport. And to do that, I think what I'll do is copy this ring here. So again, hold down the shift key and scale just in the X and the Y. Jump into our vertex mode here and line these up a little bit better. these two over here. Alright. Let's jump back into one of our side views here so I can move it up. Okay. Now let's work on that center circle piece through here. So back into my top view. No, back into my top view. Let's select this ring here. And again, I'm going to hold down the shift key and shift create another copy. I'm going to scale it in the X direction. Go back into our viewport here, and I'm going to move it up a little bit. Okay. And again, because we already chamfered those edges because we're making a copy, we don't have to worry about that. Everything's nice and soft. I haven't chamfered the edges of these straight pieces though. I may do that, or I may leave those straight. Yeah, we'll see how we go. But let's, the last bits that we have to work on now are these circular pieces. So let's jump back into orthographic. These circular pieces through here. Let's work on that. Let's start with the left viewport. I think it's probably the easiest one. And we'll start with a tube. We will up the number of sides to, let's try 12. 12 will work, okay. Just going to pull it down. Now these are angles, so I'm going to have to probably going to have to move it up. It's probably down at 0 position again. Where is it? Trying to work out where it's put it in relation to the rest of my model. Where is the rest of my model? Okay. Move that in. All right. Max's viewport here is very fiddly. Again, it may be my mouse because I'm using a high DPI mouse. I'm going to rotate this around. So before I rotate it around, I'm going to move it out. I'll move it up. Okay, I'm going to go into my modify tab and throw down an edit poly, not an edit mesh. That was a mistake. We'll go into face mode and we'll select those spaces and delete them. Go back into vertex mode, select the bottom verts. I'm going to move them down. Let me just undo that really quickly. I'm actually going to select these bottom faces, not sub-object, face mode. There we go. Now we'll go back into vertex mode and move these up. I did it that way because I wanted to keep more of the circular shape. I could have taken it from those verts there, but that would have stretched it a little bit too much and taken away from that circular shape we're getting. And I wanted a bit of play because I have to rotate it, and when I rotate it, it may not reach all the way down, so I'm going to go back in. I'm in local mode. View mode is the one that I actually want. And you see when moving it back has made it a little short. That's another reason why I chose to use these verts as opposed to the ones higher up. So I had a feeling when we moved it into the correct position it was going to be a little bit too small. I just had to make sure I was in local mode before I did that. I'm also going to pull them back just a little bit. I may rotate them around just a little bit as well. Okay, let's jump back into our side view and shift click a copy. Do another one, and one more. Alright, let's select those four and we're going to create shift copy again. In fact, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to group them temporarily because it'll make it easier for me to move them. So hold down the shift key and copy out, drag out a copy again. I'm going to jump into my top viewport here. I'm going to rotate them. like we may have a bit of a problem with this side being a bit shorter than this side, so all we can do here is we're just going to scale them in our local in the Y direction just to bring them in a bit. You're not going to notice they're a tiny bit smaller on the model when it's in the level. Again, it's a small object sitting on the ceiling, so back into local mode. Pull them back a little bit. Okay, let's shift drag rather another copy and go back into our mirror mode in the X. Alright, let's select our copies over here and shift drag and mirror again in the X. Pull them down just a little bit. Okay, let's select these ones here and shift drag a copy out. This one will mirror in the Y. Pulling them in just a tiny bit. Let's do the same thing with this one here. So again, we're going to shift drag a copy out. Mirror in the Y again. And we're going to select these ones and shift drag a copy. We're going to rotate them around. And for this one, we're going to scale them up just a tiny bit. Pull them forward just a little bit. So we may have to take them back a bit more actually. They have to be sitting under that lip there. And I think we may scale them down a little bit in the height as well. Okay, let's jump back into our top viewport and shift drag a copy down. Back into our mirror tool and mirror in the Y. Right, so all we really have left to do now is to do these lines here on the corners. Let's have a look at that. We'll go jump into our top viewport. Let's grab this one here. Shift drag a copy up. I'm going to reduce the length a little bit. Rotate it just a little bit. Pull it up here in our side viewport. And you'll notice that this actually does like a stair step, so we'll do it in two parts. I'll rotate it around. Again, we're going to have to reduce our length a tiny bit more. I'm going to drag out another copy, rotate it around, move it up, reduce our length again. Let's work out what it's doing here. Okay. It's got to correct the angle there. So back into our local mode. Back into view mode. It might be easier to actually put a bend on that one piece. May actually end up being easier. We'll see how we go. We may be okay. I think we just need to rotate it a tiny bit more in local mode.